know or may not know of MIP, which is used for package installs for, well, you know, pip for big MicroPython, big Python, whatever you want to call it, CPython. And so there's a MIP, which is for MicroPython. And so that here is the official docs for that. And so that allows you to install packages similar to pip from PyPI. And one thing that's not very well known, like you can vaguely install anything from Git, or this, it's actually very advanced what you can install, but what's not well known is that you can actually MIP install a lot of things from MicroPython lib. So MicroPython lib is, if you also don't know about that, it's a bunch of packages which are super useful that are core packages in CPython, but in MicroPython, having them all built in would be too heavy for the system. So you pull them in as you need them. But as this suggests, you can actually just MIP install any of the packages from MicroPython lib. So if you know there's something in here somewhere that you want, then you can hunt it down and you can MIP install it. But this is maybe not the most intuitive path to do that. If you go to Damien has is part of the deploy system, has this. This is the pretty printed version, but has this JSON dump of all of the parts of the everything that can be MIP installed. But this is also not particularly useful for humans to parse. So what I've done is I've built MIM, which is so MIP is MIP installs packages, and MIM is MIM indexes MIPs. So this is just a
really stretching it here.
So this is just a system to list out everything from that JSON, give you a bit of information about it. And so this is a list. You can search for something specific if you want. If you didn't know that we have a unit test library in MicroPython, now you do. And so you can get all of these packages in a slightly easier to parse way. And then if you want more details on something specific, you can click through. It'll give you some high-level information about the package just based on what's in that JSON file. It'll give you some easy install commands that you can just copy and throw in. And it'll also, where one exists, bring in the README from the system. So if we hunt down MicroPython ISP now, we'll see that this is just the README pulled from GitHub. I didn't have to find it through that way. I could have just clicked on this handy source link here and could have got there. I forgot I implemented that. And so show it running. So you've got two different install options here. So if I've got my ESP8266 board that I haven't plugged in for like 7 years running. I've just updated to the latest MicroPython, so this will work. So you can grab one of these commands, it's copied, and gonna level with you. I don't think I want IOSP now, my ESP8266, it might explode. Let's go for base64. That one will fit. Your mileage may vary here. I've got to throw a C3 in there because I'm on COM port 3. This is why people don't do live demos. There we go, we're live. So if I grab that command again,
that's better.
That is much better. That will install not only you'll notice here that we're getting things in MPy here, so it's not just the Python files, it's actually compiled ones, so it's a bit smaller, makes life a bit easier. And it's also not just grabbing base64 that we need, it's also grabbing the dependencies of base64, so we're not getting caught out by having to manually install a bunch of these. It's going to install them for us. And then grab that bad boy, and it works.
Cool.
So that's one option. You can also, if I just get rid of them, so prove they're gone. You can also do the OTA install if you have Wi-Fi on the board that you're using. So if we did something like that to connect to the Wi-Fi, you can run it from on the device itself. And that one will just run as is.
Cool. Hey, Ali, I just posted a link to the wiki page that we created a while ago, the standard library list.
Yes.
Because it just occurred to me that it actually makes sense to link that somewhere in here as well.
Yeah, I forgot that existed.
So just to explain to everyone else, we've got like a wiki page which lists all of the Python 3 packages and what the status is on MicroPython. So that'll work well with your. Actually, we probably should integrate it somehow to Mim.
Yeah, so these ones that are MicroPython lib, you will find them in Mim, like future.
Yeah, cool.
Or async. Oh, no, async, base64. So yeah, that's Mim. Matt reckons it doesn't work in Firefox.
Didn't work last night, but I'm sure you fixed it.
I've done nothing, but it works for me. So I don't know what he was doing. Note that not everything here has a README, so your mileage may vary. But you know, it's bin ASCII. You can do that. You can find heaps of that bin ASCII.
Well, I think having those readmes there front and center kind of encourages us to put better readmes in place. So
I wasn't gonna say this suggests that maybe we should build out these libraries so that people see this message more, but you know,
even if it's a link to the Python 3 documentation, because a lot of them are, trying to just implement stuff that's in CPython. So
yeah, exactly. So
no, I think that's cool.
A future for this project is that Brendan, who helped me build it, shout outs to Brendan, absolutely hates that the homepage is a massive list. So he wants to completely change how this looks. And I also want to do something with tags. Currently, these are just like decorative and ripped based on the path. But obviously, I want to be able to click on Bluetooth and then it takes me to all the Bluetooth packages and that sort of fun stuff. We're kind of limited by what we can do based on what's in here, but Damien's already been very nice to help us out by adding the path in so we can actually link the readmes easier and get the tags. So if there's merit in adding more information in there that has specific benefits, we can look to do that. And then the incredible long-term task is that this is the MIP list for all of the built-in core packages, but PyPI allows you to link to any repo that you can MIP install. So it would be nice to somehow, don't know how, provide some system where you can submit your package that is MIP installable, and we can provide them similar to the awesome list kind of deal.
I was going to say if we can produce a list of that JSON or an equivalent JSON for the awesome list packages, that'd be fantastic.
Maybe if we can make the awesome list only include MIP installable packages, or get everything on the awesome list MIP installable, and then parse that out somehow.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Cool.
Thanks, Stuart and Glenn. We should probably put this so people can find it somewhere.
Yeah, don't know where, but yeah.
I'm going to start with this chat, and then from now on, it's your problem.
Yeah, right. Cool. Thanks, Ollie. Especially thanks, considering I can hear that you're sick as hell.
That's We're getting there.
Pete, I might quickly rush through mine. Yeah. Okay, quick. Right, so I've been playing with some tooling stuff as well. Mine's called MP Build, and I think it makes more sense than Ollie's crappy name, but I love Mim anyway, don't worry, Ollie. I can't see this page. There we go. Right. MP Build, what is it? It is a build tool, because we need more build tools in our life. Look, MicroPython can be a bit difficult to build, depending on what microcontroller you're building for. You need to have the right environment set up. Yes, there's a bit to learn, and it's a bit of an impediment to people coming new to the project. So I've been building in Docker containers for a long time. MP Build is a way that wraps all of that up so that the system knows which container you should be using, and it knows how to build things. So it's just a command line application written in Python. You can install it. You will be able to pip install this. At the moment, you've got to install it from my GitHub repository, but that's okay. We'll sort this stuff out. Still a work in progress, but I thought I'd show you at this stage anyway. First thing you can do is you can list, which lists all of the boards in MicroPython. So you run this in the root of a MicroPython checkout. So you clone MicroPython, run MP build, and you get a list of all the boards. That includes any boards you've built locally, because you might want to build those as well. You'll see it also groups them by the port. It gives you a list of how many there are, and it shows you the name of them, and where possible, or where they're available, it'll also show you variants. That's what the darker gray is for. So you can build the PIB v11 with double precision thread. It's a variant that you can build in MicroPython. If you click on these are actually clickable links. You won't be able to see it because it's going to take you to my browser, which is not shared, but it'll take you to the URL that has been specified for that board. You can also filter this list down. So if you just want to look at RP2s, you can do that. So you'll see that the RP Pico 2 is here because I've got that checked out in this particular repository. What next? What would we do? What would we want to do next? Probably build something. So if you want to build something, you type build. Pretty intuitively, I feel. And then you just need the board name, and that's it. And now it builds for you. And so that step there, I'll stop it there, but that step there is actually usually a whole bunch of things that you've got to do to get to that point. So I think that simplifies a lot of things. This tells you the command that it's running, which is this whopping great big Docker command. But the tool knows that the RP Pico 2 belongs to the RP2 port, so it knows which environment to go grab. It knows how to build it. It'll do it with multi-threading enabled, so it's a bit quicker to build. It'll grab the submodules that you need. It'll do everything. And so that's kind of the gist of MP build. Trying to show you. It's also got all the help you'd expect. If you've used Python before, it's using a tool called Typer. Typer is fantastic. Go use it. There's a couple of things I'm building into this, just as an aside. Oops. Check images, which will take a minute to run. This goes and checks that the build JSON, which is a file that's specified for every board, has the appropriate images and that they're in the right location and they're of the right size and so on. I used this recently to create a PR to fix up all the images in the MicroPython downloader. It's really handy to have if you're creating your own boards. Let this go while I talk. But that's it. Andrew and I have been using this, and it's proven pretty useful already.
Question. If you want to pull in external library,
yep.
like Meetup,
yep.
Just like reference it and pull it in.
Yep. So that will work fine if your board definition supports that. So you'll still need to do the appropriate CMake changes for your board, or it depends on which board it is, how it gets integrated. But yeah, it will still build it. Yep. Basically, if you can build this like through the normal means, you can build it with MP build. Yeah. And I've been maintaining these build containers for a little while, and we also use Expressifs build containers. You can also override them when you're building as well. So if you want to create your own board and it uses some fancy combination of compiler or whatnot that we don't have yet, you could build your own Docker container, which has all that environment, and choose to use that as well. There's a command line to do that. So check images come back here after checking to make sure that all of the images exist, and that's what it looks like. I haven't yet got tab completion, but that's sort of next on my list. So I want to be able to do build and then start typing a name of the board and then have it completed. That will get there. In fact, that is the point of having the textual output. So you can just get like a textual dump. I'm trying to feed that back into a bash completion script. So that works. And that's it, I think, in a nutshell. So if you've got to build MicroPython, of course you can always download the pre-built binaries. I encourage you to do so. But at some point you're going to want to build your own. When you do, I think this is a useful tool for you. That's my pitch. That's all I got to tell you.
And will that build, like if you've got stuff that you want to combine, like freeze modules and stuff in,
yep,
that'll all still work?
Yep,
yeah,
exactly as it used to. Yeah, yeah. There's a couple of things. There's an issue list. Feel free to add things to it. There's a few things I want to do before releasing it. At the moment, it doesn't build the non-board builds. Like we've got the Unix port, WebAssembly port, and the Windows port. None of those have boards, so they're a little bit different. And so I haven't got all the exceptions in place to build those yet. But that's something I need to do. Bash completion, and that's kind of about it. And then I'll release it. It's handy. Okay.